All right, let's make this profile modal look a little bit nicer than it is now. I'm gonna go back to my project here and come back to our profile.js. I'm gonna clean some of this up again. And just to already use some of the code that we already have, let's have inside of here something similar to what we already had in our sign-in page. Or we can even use the registration page. So let's open up the registration page, and it's a big one. For now, just to keep things simple, I'm going to copy this, come back here, and let's make this indentation better. Paste our code. Ooh, that's a big one. Let's make this smaller. Let's see what that looks like. Go back, view profile. Hey, not bad. We got ourselves a bit of a profile page, but we don't really want to register. We want to customize it with some of the profile elements that we want. So let's go ahead and do a bit of that, a bit of cleanup. I'm going to minimize this a little bit. For the article, let's have the background be white. It's a little too see-through right now. I want to have more of a clear modal look to it. Also give width, let's say 80. And I kind of want to have our profile icon on here. So I can go back to my profile. Where is our profile icon? Right here. And just use this little image for now. In the future, you can imagine us uploading users' profile image here. But for now, just to keep things simple, let's add this image. And we'll move some of these CSS styles, again, just to make it look good. And then we ideally perhaps want to have some h1 tag that has the username. So let's say John Doe. We maybe want to have an h4 tag that says image submitted by, or images submitted. And this will have the number of count that they've submitted. Let's just say 5 for now. And these are things we're going to load up once we hook it into the backend. And maybe we can have another thing that says that this user has been a member since, let's just give it January for now, just something static. And just to make things pretty, maybe a horizontal line. All right, let's start to remove some of these things that we don't need here. So we can just remove the legend, field set, and div. So I'm going to remove that. Where's the field set? So let's remove the field set because we don't really need it anymore. And let's say we don't need the legend either. We can just keep them as labels. Remove the label for this one as well. Just doing a bit of quick cleanup here. Let's say that we don't really need this div wrapping either. Just to keep things a little bit cleaner. We don't need this div. Perfect. Look at that. Things are already looking nice and clean. And I'm just going to remove this entirely. All right. A little bit cleaner. Let's save. Let's see how that looks so far if I go to view profile. A little bit better. Look at that. We have the icon, the name, images submitted, member since, and that looks still a little bit ugly. So let's fix that up. I'm going to first fix the indentation. Actually going to remove this measure div as well, since we don't really need it. Let's fix the indentation over here. That's a lot better. All right, so let's start off with the label. We want to have a few different classes for the label now. We'll have margin top 2, font weight of 6. That should be good enough. And this will be for the username field. So let's just say user name, and we'll just do something like that. For the input, it'll be a type text. The name will be for the username. And then for the class name, we can just keep some of this. We don't need to worry about input reset. We don't really want a transparent background. And you know what? Just to keep things simple, I just want a width of 100. That's good enough for us. And perhaps we can have a placeholder that is the name that we want. For now, I'll just keep it at John. And we don't have an on-change event yet, so I can just remove that. And you know what? Just so I don't keep doing this, I'm going to use whatever we have now, which I kind of like. If we check back here, go to view profile. All right, yeah, that looks a lot better. I'm going to just copy and paste these fields over here and change them to a few of the different types. Let's do one for age. Placeholder will just be 56 for now. It's going to be for user age, ID of age as well. And this one, let's just say they also have a pet that they can add. It's going to be a pet dragon. Username pet, ID of pet. Let's save. Let's have a look. All right, not bad. It's looking pretty good. And then maybe at the bottom, we can add some buttons that, let's say, we'll have a save and a cancel so that we can update our profile. We'll give it a class name, margin top of 4. And you know what? I'm going to give it some special styles as well. We'll do display flex, just to keep everything nice and centered. Justify of space evenly. That should be good. Make sure we close that div tag. And within here, we can just have a button that, again, has a class name. Again, just using some tag counts here. All right, we're going to do a few things here. I'm just going to copy and paste this to the other button as well. So one's going to be for save. One's going to be for cancel. So this button is going to be our save button. And we'll have another button that will be cancel. Let's save that, give that a go. Let's see how it looks. All right, better. I think some of our styling can be improved here. We want to make sure that this is going to be red instead of blue because it is cancel. And not space evenly, space evenly. That's better. I think that's why I wasn't keeping the buttons together. Oh, look at that. That looks way nicer. All right, look at that. We have ourselves a profile. And you know what? Everything looks good. Except the buttons don't do anything, and we probably need an X button over here as well. So let's do that. We'll give the cancel button a toggle modal or on click that is toggle modal. And you can see here with React, you're doing a lot of repetition, but once you get the hang of it, everything flows nicely and it makes sense. You just keep adding events, adding components, and it's a nice way to build something. Quite fast, actually. So we have the toggle modal, and let's add an X at the top here. Or maybe at the bottom over here, after the cancel, we can just add, so right at the top, over here, we can just give it a div of class name we'll create a new CSS class here to make it look better. And again, we're going to give it an on-click of toggle modal. And it'll be a giant X that we'll have. So let's give that a go. I'm going to save. Go back here, view profile. Yeah, look at that. That's not bad. All right, there's actually a nicer X that I can get. And this is just a nicer way of creating that X button that you see everywhere with modals. And you just do and symbol and then times semicolon. And you see that it changes. So I'm going to save that and also add some modal close classes. All right, so the modal close, we'll add the modal close. We'll give it the font size of, let's go 3 rem, so pretty big. Font style, font style of bold, and maybe give it a cursor of pointer as well. And we also want to have a hover class, so let's just do modal close, hover, and we'll just do a color of gray when we hover over it, and a cursor that is pointer. Let's save, give it a go, view profile. Look at that. That's not too bad. If we click cancel, the modal closes. If we click view profile, and save doesn't do anything yet because we're going to be working on that. But if I click close, it also closes. And then finally, to finish up what we've just done, make sure that the sign out feature works as well. I'm going to say is signed in to false, or route to sign in, and test one last feature to make sure that it's all working. And then after this, we get to some fun logic. Sign out. Perfect. I'll see you in the next video.